Hello, hello everyone. We are live. Thank you very much for being here this evening. I can see quite a few of you right now being live. Thank you very much for your time. We had some technical issues as it is when you are live, but hopefully everything will be sorted shortly. So welcome again to this webinar with the Mastermind Fever. And before we carry on with this fantastic presentation by Timm, I'm going to explain to you within a few minutes what the Mastermind Fever is about. So with Lydia Brown, my mastermind partner, we have created this group where we help each other to become leaders by hosting hangouts. Like this evening, Timm is going to present his first webinar, powerful webinar from Eric Worre. And what we do as well within the mastermind team is help people to find a mastermind partner. Believe me, when you are able to find somebody to work with, it makes your life so much easier, and you really want to push forward. Whenever you don't feel like carrying on again, well, you got somebody telling you, come on, you can do it, just go forth and you can press on and do it. So it is absolutely essential, and this is what we do within the Mastermind Fever team. What we do as well, we offer coaching to the people who want to learn more about how to market online, like I'm going to share my screen with you right now. And what we can help you to do is basically get you understand how to brand yourself online, how to be the leader that people are looking for, because as you understand, you cannot just post day in, day out stuff about your business opportunity, because people join people they know, they like, and they trust. So if they like you and they trust you, they will want to join you. So we follow the principles of attraction marketing. So if you want to learn more about it, simply go to tinyurl.com/MLSP and we've got loads of bonuses available. Or if you came through Timm, simply reach out to Timm and see how it can help you to brand yourself as a leader. Also, if you haven't seen this page right here, I'm taking part in a fundraising project with GoFundMe for the No Excuses Summit 5. So if you simply go to gofundme.com/no excuses sponsors, you're going to see some information about how, if you can't attend this event, I will be able to teach you on a one-to-one basis PPV marketing, Facebook PPC, video marketing, email marketing, and so on. So it is going to be great. This event is taking place in June from the 27th to the 29th of June. But if you can't do it, simply reach out to me or simply go to this link and you will get more information about how you can access this powerful, life-changing transformation. So this is what we do, basically, the Mastermind Fever team. So I'm going to go back again. Here we go. So without any further ado, we are going to have this evening a great man that actually met a few months ago now, and we connected very well on Facebook. He's now part of the Mastermind Fever team, always providing value and always being very willing to help. And this evening is going to share something very powerful about becoming a true networker. And we have called this presentation The Art of Networking, and it's going to be powerful. It's going to share some great information based on the book written by Eric Worre, and he's going to share 7 steps to becoming a network marketing professional, which is so important. No spamming, but becoming a professional in what we do. So, as I said before, we did find it quite hard to share our screen and presentation, so you might not be able to see his face right now, to see Timm's face right now, but I'm sure you will be able to see him towards the end and also on his presentation. So I'm going to, here we go. Here is Timm right there. So Timm, the floor is now yours if you want to start talking, sharing your information with us. It's all up to you now, my friend.
Okay, great. Roy, I just want to thank you and the Mastermind Fever group for inviting me to do this presentation this evening. And what I'm going to do now is work through getting my presentation up so everyone can see it.
Awesome. I can see it.
Okay.
It's
Good.
working.
All right, wonderful. Miracles do happen.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you all for taking time out of your busy evenings this evening to stop by and spend a little time with me as we talk about the art of network marketing. As you know, network marketing has been around for years and years and years, and it's only in recent years that we've been able to evolve and move to what has now become internet marketing, affiliate marketing, but still along the same veins of network marketing. Okay? It's basically learning how to network with individuals in the virtual space. And that's what I want to speak to you about this evening. And I've chosen to base my presentation this evening on the book by Eric Worre called Go Pro. And basically, that book has been around now, I think, for about a year since Eric released it. For my personal team, it's become more or less the Bible in terms of how we have learned to do business, networking with our community, and networking to find prospects for our various offers. So just a little bit about myself. Hopefully you can see my screen there where you see my little picture there setting out in front of my beautiful background there, one of my office spaces.
No,
Uh,
not right now. What we can see is the art of network marketing. That's it. The first slide.
okay, so you can't see the second slide?
No. Miracles do happen. I'm sure we're going to be able to. Here we go. Well done.
Okay, all right, so you can see the second slide now.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, we'll have to go from right here, guys, and apologize for the technical difficulties, but um, still a good-looking slide, I hope.
Yes,
All
it is.
right. So a little bit about me. I spent the last 30 years or so in the corporate world as a corporate manager with two little-known companies, Procter& and Gamble and IBM. In 2009, IBM decided that they no longer needed my services and outsourced my position to another country. Just a very common story that we hear well too often nowadays. So right in the midst of the global recession, I was devastated, basically losing my home to foreclosure and experienced countless other losses. There were no jobs to speak of in the economy at that time, especially as a senior corporate manager making the kind of money that I made back then. So I turned back to a industry that I had always known of and participated in. That was network marketing. Familiar with the industry, it was really initially the personal development, the mindset training, books, audios, videos, all of that early on is what really kind of more or less brought me back afloat because I had, fairly well sunken into some type of depression, having experienced that kind of traumatic loss in my life. So even during my corporate career, I had always kept like a side hustle, so to speak, with network marketing, with various laundry soaps, water filters, vitamins, legal plans, et cetera, you name it. I was part of many different network marketing companies. So I've been around this industry for a little over 25 years, but never really had any major financial success. So after, again, my layoff from IBM in 2009, I continued to find jobs to help pay the bills and basically fund my internet marketing education. And I started online in 2011 with some common educational things, platforms that I won't mention here on this webinar, but many of you are familiar with, and really started to build myself up. So my personal business does quite well on Twitter. Recently engaged in building my own blog. Have a Facebook fan page that I use, and I'm also looking into getting into Instagram. So a lot in social media has really been advantageous for me in terms of getting started with the whole internet marketing space. Um, Being a professional, I also have a rather large network on LinkedIn. And as I mentioned, my business does pretty well there as well as on Twitter. In 2014, I finally launched my Facebook fan page, and it's starting to come around. I'm building up a fan base and so forth. Personally, I have 3 adult children and 3 grandchildren, and they are my driving inspiration to succeed both in life and business. I'm very passionate about helping people to save money, manage money, and make money. So that's a little bit about Tim, and I hope you feel you know me a little bit better now. So again, this is the book. Rory, can you see my next slide here coming up?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. And this is the man. This is Eric Worre. He's been around this industry for over 25 years. And again, as I mentioned to you, our personal team, we're using this now kind of like as the roadmap in terms of how you do network marketing as a professional. So again, Mr. Worre, like I said, he's been around the industry for 25 plus years. In this industry, he's earned over $15 million plus by now, I'm sure. He's built sales organizations, over 500,000 distributors in 60 different countries. He's the president of a $200 million direct selling company, and he's also a trusted advisor to the industry. So if you haven't heard about Eric Worre, you hear much more about him tonight as we talk about various tips and highlights from his book. So the book is called Go Pro, and again, what we're going to highlight this evening is 7 steps to becoming a network marketing professional, as Eric has laid out in his book. And if by the end of this presentation, hopefully I've done a good job in talking about some of the tips and highlights and how we can go about doing that, I'm sure you can go to his website there, and that is networkmarketingpro.com, and pick up a copy of his book. And I'm not by any means getting any kind of royalties from that, but when you find a really good book out there, it's one of the great things about this industry, and passing it on and paying it forward and recommending things to your fellow network marketers. So the book kind of covers these 7 basic steps. Number 1 is how you go about finding prospects. Number 2 is inviting those prospects to take a look at whatever your product or offer is. Number 3 is actually presenting that product or opportunity or your offer to your prospects. Number 4 is very, very important, and here it talks about the follow-up. You spend a lot of time and energy going out and you find prospects, and then you do a good job of presenting your product to them, but what's most important here is following up with them to make sure they understand. So number 5 actually talks about helping your prospects. Number 6 is talking about helping to build and develop your team, and there's many, many online ways that we go about that today that I'm going to talk about. And then number 7, of course, is promoting events. Now notice when talking about these 7 steps here, Mr. Worre did not mention anything about I or me or we. It's really all about your prospects. If you get into this business, and if it's all about making money for you and growing your business and this and that, sooner or later you'll probably you'll lose out. But if you look at it from the standpoint that you're out here to help others succeed, talking primarily about your prospects, ultimately you will succeed. So what attracts people to network marketing? Like I said, I've been in and out of this industry for, the past 25 years. And initially coming back in, for me, it's the community. As I think about, my own 30 years or so in corporate America, one of the things I missed from early on in my career was the community and really building, relationships and so forth. And it seems that the whole corporate world, no matter whether you're in the United States, Aurora, or other places around the world, it just seems like that's missing nowadays. And in network marketing, it's one of the things. It's one of the primary drivers I think that draws a lot of people in. The other thing is the business model, and I'm going to talk a lot about that here initially, talking about the business model of network marketing as opposed to the traditional business model. The other thing that I really, really love about this industry is professional development. It's a big focus on reading professional development books, listening to audios, watching videos that can be very inspirational and motivational to you. And then lastly, the other thing I love about network marketing is just the fact that you can make residual income. And I realize that may be a new term for a lot of people, but basically all residual income means is that you do your work once and then get paid for it over and over and over again. And I know that can be pretty exciting to a lot of people. So, what marketing isn't perfect, it's just better. And that's a quote taken directly from the book. And basically, what it's saying is that, the industry itself has continued to grow and evolve over the years as we talk about internet marketing, affiliate marketing. Many people say, well, it just isn't perfect. But the take that Mr. Worry has on it is that it's just better. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how that really plays out. So we take a step back here just for a second, and let's talk about traditional ownership. For those of you that may have thought about, investing your hard-earned money, maybe from a 401k or other, investments that you may have, people dipping into their life savings and take on debt, maybe even borrow money from family and friends to start, a traditional brick and mortar type business. They take on even more debt in the way of leases, perhaps leasing space or leasing equipment or even buying, certain office equipment, desk equipment, whatever you may need. In many cases, you have to act as your own attorney, accountant, babysitter for employee matters, or negotiator for purchasing decisions. Business owners, in this sense, they struggle because they ultimately find out that the business owns them and instead of them owning the business. They succeed or they may fail, and many give up and head back to a corporate job or perhaps a sales job. So, the way it was, the world as we know it has changed. It used to be go to school to learn to be an employee, maybe perhaps developing a specific skill set, find a good company to work for, maybe work for that company for 40 years and retire. And as we know, as I mentioned about my own experience with IBM being laid off in 2009, more and more folks find that that is a common story for them. And so the dream that many people have when they first start off in their careers just isn't there for them anymore. So the new economy is moving toward a performance-based economy. In fact, it's already happening. As you think about servers in the food industry and how they're hard-working individuals, how they work maybe on minimum wage, but they really get their tips and everything based on their performance, right? How they treat their customers, whether they try to build relationships, establish rapport with them during the hour and a half that someone may be out to dinner, right? Nowadays, you'll find more and more contract office workers. Also in the manufacturing area has gone to contract workers. And basically, you come in and perform. If you don't perform, you're essentially out of a job. So why is this happening? Well, for one, it's just a better model for companies. It's a new day. It's the information age. As we look back over 100 years ago, it was like 90% of the people worked in agriculture economy. Well, with the exponential rise of technology has changed everything. So we've gone from many that are farming and manufacturing jobs that used to support economies globally. We find that those jobs, like I say, are slowly diminishing no matter where you live at in the world. So if you're sitting around waiting for that type of economy to return, my friend, I suggest that you take a look at doing something different. So arise network marketing. More and more companies will choose network marketing. Why? Because it fits the new economy. It's very much performance based. It can provide all the corporate structure, support functions of advertising, marketing, sales, customer service without all that additional expense. So companies will now more and more, you'll see, utilize network marketing, even with some of the major global retailers like Walmart, for example. So they utilize network marketers to tell their story and pay them based on their performance. That's network marketing, my friends. So what does this mean? This is good news for the entrepreneur. You can receive all the benefits that we talked about before of traditional business ownership without all that risk. There is no cap on your income because network marketing companies want you to make as much money as possible. Now, isn't that exciting? If you're going to be paid for performance anyway, why not get paid with no cap on your income? And I think it's only appropriate here that I do mention the income disclosure, that even though I'm not talking about any specific amounts of money that you can make from income, results typically aren't typical. There are some people that will make tons of money in this industry, while there are others that may struggle to make hardly anything. So, one of the things that you have to deal with in this industry, and it's just kind of unfortunate, but because it's a growing industry and it's really attracting a lot more people, and I'm going to talk and share some numbers here with you in just a little bit. You must accept the fact that there's going to be a temporary loss of social esteem that comes from ignorant people. And again, you kind of see my little caricature over there that just says, hey, the amount of ignorant people in this world is just too high. Okay? You have people that, when you mention the term network marketing company, you get responses like, is this one of those spammy things? How much money are you making? How much money is it going to cost me? Versus, if you think about entrepreneurs and business ownerships, their mindset is, what is my investment going to look like, and what is my rate of return going to look like? So you run into another set of folks, perhaps people in your own family, that may say, well, I've tried, multi-level marketing for a week and it didn't work. Okay? Or, man, my broke brother-in-law told me about his experience in network marketing. He didn't make any money. So, folks, I said all that to say this, that there are a lot of posers and amateurs in the world. There are a lot of people out there that will treat this profession as a lottery ticket. They're hoping to hit it big with as little effort as possible. I'm sure you know quite a few of them that you've run into if you've been around this industry for any time. On the other side, then, there are amateurs. These people may focus on different things, but yet and still they're betting on luck. The amateurs hope to get lucky and find that monster distributor that will help build their organization. So I suggest to you this evening that if you're going to be involved in network marketing, that you take the advice of Eric Worre and you decide to go pro and become a professional. A phrase in our profession, and one that I've despised for years and years. I'm surprised that I've even decided to put it here in my presentation, but it's a good point. And that phrase is, ignorance on fire is better than knowledge on ice. And if again you've been around this industry for any period of time, I'm sure you've heard that over and over again. And basically, what you're hearing here says the point of this phrase is that it's better to be excited and ignorant than apathetic and smart. Well, even though that may be true, I'd say, why do we have to choose one over the other? I say be excited and smart and know about what you're doing here in this industry. A better way, enthusiasm is great, but eventually you need to marry it with passion and with skill. So I suggest a more perfect union. As you think about professional athletes and entertainers that will devote endless hours preparing for competition, but when they join network marketing, they won't give one day's effort to learning our skill set. In his book, Malcolm Gladwell, in the book Outliers, his research showed that it takes approximately 10,000 hours of practice to reach expert level at almost anything. With 4 hours a day of practice, that adds up to about 7 years. Now, my friend, I'm not suggesting that it's going to take you 7 years to grow your network marketing business, but realistically speaking, don't expect to get started today and 30 days from now you're going to be making $10,000 a month. Okay? Just kind of an unrealistic expectation. So when you go pro, everything changes. For one thing, what you want to do is stop worrying about timing and luck and positioning and shortcuts. Like, how can I get there the quickest? Focus instead on learning the skills and make the commitment to practice, practice, practice until you have mastered the skills. Kind of like what I'm doing tonight in presenting my first live webinar. Okay? If you don't start somewhere, you definitely won't end up with where you want to go. 3 primary elements for success. Number 1 is to know your company and to know its products. Okay, so this is very, very critical. Again, if you go back to, that common phrase in the industry that, basically, just jump in there and start going and going. Well, I had a friend the other day that I was talking to, somebody on my team that I was coaching, and one of the things is that, you sign up for a internet marketing company, and you get some links, and you go post those links. Well, sooner or later, somebody's going to respond. And this was really only his maybe 3rd day or so in the business, right? And essentially what happened is somebody responded and came back to him and said, look, and I won't mention any names here, but said, look, can you tell me what your products are? Can you tell me something about the company? Well, he couldn't answer him. So I suggested to the new recruit that, you take some time to really get to know what your company is all about. Spend some time, get to know the products, understand the products, and even become a product of the product. Get to know the products by using the products. Number 2 is also critically important, and that is know what the compensation plan is. You wouldn't go out and find a job and start working without, finding out what your salary is going to be or what your commission structure is going to be, because some folks that are money motivated, this is extremely important. So it's important that you spend some time and understand not only how much you can make potentially over the next 30, 60, or 90 days, but what's the long-term plan of what my company could potentially pay me if I put in the time, the hours, sell the products, promote the company, and build my organization. But most importantly, my friend, is number 3, and that is to know yourself. Understand why it is that you got into business in the first place. Okay? And that comes from the aspect of network marketing that I told you that I love, and that is personal development. Developing your mind. That you have to go through this transition of understanding that you're not an employee anymore, and there's nobody there basically to tell you what it is you have to do day in and day out. So you have to know yourself, that you have to know, that you're a person of character, that you're a person of strength, that, your primary focus in this thing has to be about others and building others and instilling, confidence and wisdom and so forth in them to help them grow their business. I have a quote over here from one of my mentors, Eric Thomas. It says, if you think this is going to be easy, just forget about it. Don't even try to be successful. So again, mindset, professional development. There must be an awesome transition that occurs inside of you. For me, it took me almost, I don't know, I'll say 14, 15 months of going through some personal development to get almost 30 years of that corporate mentality, distilled out of me, right? I couldn't think about how I can transition into becoming an entrepreneur because I had so much of the old way of thinking inside of me. When you start building a team in this industry, you have to understand one thing, and you're looking at building a volunteer army. Okay? So even though I was a senior manager in the corporate world, hey, I have to put that on the back burner because I can't bring that mentality into the industry of network marketing and, trying to be controlling or overbearing. No, 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 it's not like that anymore. So that's why it's so personally uh, profound for me to get involved in some of these teachings that I'm learning inside of this industry that comes from the likes of a Jim Rohn or Napoleon Hill, okay, and really having a plan that brings out the best in you. Hopefully you guys are getting some value out of this, and it's resonating with you.
It's awesome. So far, absolutely awesome training. Thank you.
Thank you, Aurora. So there is an epidemic in our industry. It goes that whenever something goes wrong, we want to blame. Now, that's probably not so different from what I just discussed in talking about the employee mindset that, you may have a group that works together, and if something doesn't go wrong, it's the manager's fault. It's the management team. It's the company. Well, again, here in network marketing, there's really no one to blame. We work on a system of where we sponsor people into this business, okay? And we typically refer to them as our upline. But blame is deadly, my friends. It only hurts you, it hurts others, but it hurts you in the long run. It makes no sense to blame your upline for things that you may not be doing yourself. So blaming your sideline, and it isn't really a network marketing term, but it's those folks that you kind of count on to, support you, that maybe even depend on you, and certainly not your downline. If you're not performing, chances are your downline is not going to perform either. And what happens with a lot of people is they get frustrated after a week, 2 weeks. Most don't last 30 days. We have a very high turnover rate in this industry of almost 97% that don't, that really don't make it or don't hardly make any money in this industry. And so a lot of them go back to the previous employer. So Eric Ward suggests this in reference to your sponsor. And he basically says, to write a note to your sponsor or to your upline that says, "Dear sponsor, I want to thank you for this opportunity. Getting into business for myself was important." And I highlighted getting into business for myself was important. So you have to understand here that, you're really making a choice when you get involved in network marketing. It's just like a traditional business. Okay? You wouldn't go out and spend $500,000 or, probably cost more than that nowadays for a McDonald's franchise and then look at blaming the franchisor, right? So you're getting into business for yourself because it was an important decision. And that's where we have to be, my friends. And you say to that sponsor, I appreciate you for introducing me to this company, whatever the network marketing company is. But from now on, when it comes to building my business, I will use you as a resource and not as an excuse. I am taking full responsibility for my network marketing career and the success of my business. And again, it's very key that you realize that you are getting into business. We hear in our industry all the time that if you treat this like a business, you will succeed versus treating it like a hobby. Okay? So here's a little post that I decided to add to the presentation this evening. It's one that you've probably seen many, many times. And maybe for those of you that are on the webinar this evening that are perhaps considering network marketing for the first time, you become an entrepreneur. So your mindset shifts from that of an employee to that of an employee of a entrepreneur. And so what does the entrepreneur's mindset say? It basically says, I believe anything is possible. I take risk, I'm focused, I hustle. I know that nothing is unrealistic. And we hear folks say this all the time about being overwhelmed because there's so many different aspects of this industry. But you should really feel overwhelming love, that you can create, that you can learn, that you can grow, and you can do this thing and be successful on it because you are now an entrepreneur. To be successful in this industry, again, talking about that mindset shift, you have to come up with a daily mode of operation, just like you do when you go to your job. But on your job, you have your boss that sets out goals and expectations, objectives, whatever, that you need to create for that particular week, for that month, or perhaps even a role description that you have for your job. Well, in network marketing, you essentially don't have anybody to do that work for you. Okay? So you have to come up with your own daily mode of operation. Now, what I've listed here is just some of the highlights of my daily mode of operation. And, if this is something that, as I talk about this, something that you guys like, there are many, many, many leaders out there in this industry that has this kind of information, or I'll be glad to share some of the documents that I pulled together that help to keep me on track throughout my daily routine. And folks, I tell you, one of the things, like I said, that drew me back to this industry was all of the personal development work. So starting number one, like when I wake up in the morning, I think about what I am grateful for, right? And I actually write some things out, whether it's my family, whether it's my friends, whether it's my home, whether it's my spouse, my children, whatever it is for that day. Some days, folks, I'm just thankful that I wake up and can see the sunshine, right? Okay? So having an attitude of the things that you are thankful for can bring about more of the same into your life. Okay? The second thing is to have a vision. Take the time to write down a vision. What is my business about? What is it I want to accomplish? For me, it's like every day I get up, how many people can I help today? Okay, so again, I'm taking the focus off of me, my worries, my concerns, and I'm focusing on who can I help today. And then lastly is having a purpose, knowing what your purpose is in life. Your purpose has to be something that's greater than I just want to make money to pay my bills. That's very noble, and we all should have that desire, right? But, have a purpose in life that is greater than just satisfying your own personal needs. So vision and purpose, I guess they kind of go hand in hand there, okay? The second thing, going into your business and thinking about what you want to do, is creating content. Very, very, very important here, because during the course of your day, you want to spend your time, 80% of your time, on money-making activities, okay? And let those money-making activities be driven by the things that you're thankful for, driven by the vision that you have to help other people, and by your purpose on why you're here on this earth, okay? So what I've done is I have other spreadsheets that I put together, and in many cases, I keep it like in a picture frame. I don't know what you call these little things, but it sits right in front of me on my desk that says, look, I picked Facebook marketing as one of my primary strategies for marketing my business, right? So, for example, what I have is that on my daily Facebook marketing plan, I'm going to do 7 or 8 posts for the day. 3 of those posts will be imagery, different things that will draw people in, because that's what Facebook is all about, right? They like pictures, they like images, and that's what people want to see. So 3 of my posts are either inspirational, they're spiritual because I'm a spiritual person, I'm trying to educate people, and I'm trying to be informative. Perhaps another one of my posts would be about my personal lifestyle. So I have some pictures in there, perhaps some events that I've attended, a restaurant I've went to, pictures of the family, and travel, because I love to travel. And then there might be 2 posts in there of resources or industry leaders, okay? And another thing that, that we're learning right now in my current business is basically, just building friendships, right? The more friendships that you have on Facebook, if you're using it like I am as a marketing tool, the more people that you will have ultimately to market your business, market your opportunities to, okay? And if they see that, you're the type person that's just not slamming them with links day in and day out, but you're the person that's really trying to focus and build those relationships and understand what, their needs are, what their desires are, and so forth, they're going to be attracted to you, okay? So I try to follow that day in and day out, and I keep it in front of me, just like I keep my goals for the month in front of me, because I can take a look at those goals and I can break them down from a monthly basis to a weekly basis to a daily basis, whether they're income related, whether they're how many friends I want to connect with on Facebook or on Twitter or Instagram, whatever that particular marketing method that I'm using for that day. I want to have my goals in front of me, not something that's in a book or something I wrote down or something I, filed away on my computer somewhere, but I keep these things in front of me. Why? Because it's the inspiration to keep me motivated in this work. Number 3 there is interaction and communication. Again, I kind of alluded to this a little bit in talking about building friendships, but you go out and you create the content, then, my friends, you have to market that content, okay? You just can't go out and do a post on Facebook and hope somebody stops by your page or stops by your personal profile and reads it, okay? You have to have some interaction with people. So striking up conversations just like you would if you were networking at a local event. Well, you can't go into a local event and not introduce yourself, maybe hand a business card, exchange business cards, which is very, very important to do. So you do very similar things on Facebook. Now, really, my friends, this whole page right here that we're on right now is a training in and of itself. So I hope you get the gist of what I'm talking about. And then lastly, well, let me talk about training and growth. Here you should spend maybe 20% of your day, all right? So 80% of your day on content creation and promoting that content and interacting with folks. You need to continue training, personal development, personal growth on a day-to-day basis. Another one of the groups I'm part of is they have a plan called 30-30-30, where you spend 30 minutes of your day that you're reading a book. You'd be surprised how many books that you could read over the course of the year if you're spending only 30 minutes a day, reading a book, listening to some audio. Okay, you're spending another 30 minutes in personal reflection, and then maybe another 30 minutes in how you can take that information and actually utilize it in your business. Okay. Then lastly, at the end of the day, you're thinking about tomorrow. Okay, you're reflecting on what you've done throughout the course of the current day, and you've tracked it. As I mentioned before, talking about my Facebook marketing. Did I make those 7 posts today? If I fell short and only did 4, then I can kind of analyze and reflect at the end of the day. What can I do tomorrow to get back to the daily goals that I set for myself? So now we're going to get into those 7 steps that Eric Worre suggests on becoming a pro. Here is a underlying mindset that he says all network marketers must have, and that is our mission in network marketing is to educate and help prospects understand how powerful this opportunity can be if they treat it with respect. So again, nowhere in there does it say that you're going to hammer your family and your friends, with links, with your opportunity, with your products. He says our mission is to educate prospects and understand, what it is that they're doing, where they're coming from, and then how powerful this opportunity can be if we treat it right. So finding prospects. This is step number 1. Via networking. Okay, so if you think about old school networking, and many of us, still do this today, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's certainly it's a very viable form of building your business, and that is you make a very comprehensive list of all the people that you know. Now, I can tell you from my own personal experience that I don't include family and friends, unless I've had friends that have indicated to me that they're sick and tired of their job, they want something different, the economy, the boss, this and that. I'll get in touch with them with my friends, and I'll say, listen, here's what I'm doing. Tell me what you think. So you make a comprehensive list, and that's fine. You can do that. Okay. Another way is also making a list and connecting with people on social media. And I'm going to talk more about that as I get a little bit further along here. But the point that I want to make about networking is that you are constantly expanding your list of people that you can contact about your opportunity. Okay? And you want to have a purpose in your networking. It's kind of like I was saying about, my new recruit the other day, that, you get some links and, you go out and start spamming people. No. You don't want to do that. You want to post on purpose. You want to network with people on purpose. So again, it's really understanding your company, understanding the products, and understanding that opportunity. If you don't respect it, guess what? Others probably won't, respect it either. Then the last point I want to make on this particular slide right here is that it's hard to meet new people if you're hiding from the world. Let me repeat that one more time. It's hard to meet new people if you are hiding from the world. So you have to get out, my friends. Whether it's offline, whether you're going to, social events, whether it's a business network, whether it's a chamber event, wherever you're at, you should always be prepared with a business card that you can hand to someone, and at the same time, when you're striking up that conversation and you're building that relationship with them, you want to take their business card as well. That's the whole primary purpose of networking and offline events, is to build relationships and get contact information. And the same thing is true online. So we talk about networking with a purpose. So my next slide here, we're talking about finding prospects, those that are in your niche. Identifying your market, understanding their pain, their issues and problems, and then you provide a solution. Okay? So you want to identify your market. You want to identify the people that you talk to. Primarily, when it comes to online marketing or internet marketing, The primary folks that I talk to are network marketers, affiliate marketers, and internet marketers. And there's a way that you can go about finding those folks. And like I said about, a couple previous slides, this is a training all unto itself. Okay? But I'm going to try to hit on a little bit here for you. Let me tell you about this. This is an industry that is growing weekly, monthly. If you look at these statistics that I provided here for you, every week more than 55,000 people in the United States alone sign up as network marketers. Okay? 150,000 people worldwide. Not just the US, but worldwide. So my friend, you should never have an excuse of, I don't have anybody to talk to. That's 300,000 people per month, right? They do that right? Oh, 600,000 people per
Yeah.
month. I never do math well this time of day, Aurora. That's 600,000 people a month that are entering this business that you have to talk to, okay? Now, in the United States, sales in the network marketing industry are in the $30 billion range. Worldwide sales approach $90 billion. Now, this was a particular stack, this set of numbers here, I pulled from a site, and you can see the reference, but you can also see the date. That was in 2012. Well, I tell you, the economy in general hasn't continued to get that great, at least here in the United States, in terms of adding new jobs. And I've heard that number, that 90 billion number, is probably significantly higher now in 2014 than it was in 2012. Okay, so it's a viable industry if we treat the opportunity with respect. So, inviting prospects. A lot of people say, well, Tim, I can't get involved in network marketing. I'm not a salesperson. Okay. Well, initially, what you are you become a professional inviter, a pointer, if you will. You are inviting your prospects to understand your product or service or opportunity. Okay, let me read that one to you again. You are inviting your prospects to understand your product, your service, or your opportunity. Okay? I want to talk here a little bit about hunting versus farming. So Eric Ward talks a little bit about his experiences, and in the beginning he says he was a hunter. He says because he was a hunter, everyone around me felt hunted. Okay, so he didn't really have that target market that I talked about in network marketers, affiliate marketers, and internet marketers. So everybody, in the old school network marketing, anybody that was within 10 feet of you was a potential prospect. Okay, so the industry has continued to evolve. And so Eric says that he found that successful people in this industry were not hunters. They were more like farmers. Okay? They planted seeds, they built relationships, and they attracted prospects. I know many of you that are in this industry, you've heard the term attraction marketing. Well, before, I believe it was Michael Diller that coined that phrase, many years back. you know, um, Eric and some of the other traditional network marketers kind of figured out that, look, what we need to do here is plant some seeds and build relationships with people and then attract them to us versus beating them over the head with a stick of URLs, okay, or spamming them with their links, right?
It's a
Okay,
good one.
so we want to attract people to us. Farming, again, attraction marketing. The goal wasn't to immediately recruit prospects. Let me say that again. The goal wasn't to immediately recruit their prospects. Their initial objective was to educate their prospects on what they had to offer and then let or allow those prospects to decide if this is something they wanted to do. Now, many times, as you guys know, I don't want to lead you astray here, that when you give somebody a DVD or a pamphlet, or in this case, a link, or you send them an email. You just can't make that initial contact and then that's going to be it. No, you have to continue to follow up. And I'm going to talk more about that as we get into, that particular step. But the point here is this: when people are intimidated about perhaps initially getting involved in network marketing, is to know that you don't pitch their product or opportunity right off the bat. You know, this whole industry, you look at the term network marketing, it's really about networking with people, building that relationship. Now, with all of that said, folks, hunting is not dead when it comes to inviting prospects. And while farming is an awesome method to inviting and attracting prospects, and we all should be about doing that, we do not abandon our hunting skills. Okay? You remember that you want to find prospects that may be open to your buying, or open to buying your products or viewing your opportunity. So again, just keep in mind that I talked about, having a market of folks that would be interested. And those people typically are the network marketers, the internet marketers, and the affiliate marketers. Okay? For me, specifically, that's who my market is. So you strike a balance. You do some of the attracting things. That's why I do post every day, to let people have a feel for the kind of person that I am. I put out the inspirational stuff. I put out the spiritual stuff. I educate people. I try to be informative about this and that. Some of these things you can do, well, many of these things you can do via social media. So again, hunting is not dead. And farming is really one of the newer ways that we want to talk about when it comes to network marketing. So hunting for prospects using social media platforms. Again, one of my main marketing methods is using Facebook. And one of the tools that Facebook offers us, and this is relatively new, I'll say within the last 13, 14 months or so, is the Facebook search graph. Okay, and all it is just a search bar, and it's at the top of your personal profile on your Facebook. And essentially, what you do, you can go in there and you can type something in. I just kind of use my own state. I live in the wonderful state of North Carolina, and I type in that search bar people who live in North Carolina and like network marketing, or people who live in North Carolina and like MLM, or people who live in North Carolina and like affiliate marketing. And it brings up a ton of people for you to talk to. So again, if you go back to those numbers I shared, and globally, knowing that there's over 500,000 people that enter into this space on a monthly basis, you're always going to find somebody to talk to, and more times than not, they're going to know something less about this industry than which you do. So here's a process. So you would send that person a note complimenting them on something on their personal profile. Okay, whether you notice something in their cover page, or you may notice that, as I mentioned here, that they're in network marketing. You may have some common friends, but number one, what you're doing is looking to establish that relationship by complimenting the person first. It's all about building a relationship, right? Okay? So be there basically says to build that relationship even further then by asking questions. Find out what they do. Again, no different here, folks, than if you were to go to a chamber event and you walked in and your intent was to network with people. That's all you're doing on Facebook, is you're networking with people. You're finding out what they do, if they're in business, what problems they may have, what issues they may be facing, or maybe they're having success in the business and you can learn something from them, right? Okay, so let them know that you have similar experiences, and that maybe what you have could help them, so you're offering them a solution, right? So that's kind of the process in a nutshell. You're talking to people, you're building a relationship, You're finding out what you have in common. You're complimenting them, seeing what their problems are, what their issues are, and then is when you can offer them a solution. Presenting your product or opportunity. Now here is a very interesting point that Eric makes. Basically, he says that the pro never makes themselves the issue. It's never about Tim. Okay? In network marketing, he says it doesn't matter what works. It only matters what duplicates. Right? So you go in and you act as a consultant who connects the prospect to tools, to events, or perhaps to other business partners. Remember I said that you become an inviter or you can become a pointer. Or in many cases I still do both. I happen to have a very, very good mentor. And I'm not saying that because he's on the call tonight, but he does help me out quite a bit. And so, I can point some leads that I may be struggling with, or prospects I may be struggling with, back to him. Okay? Because really, it's not about just recruiting them, but it's about educating them, right? So, especially for beginners in this industry, Eric says that the pros use tools instead of their own wisdom. So what do the pros bring? What you have to bring to this process is passion, enthusiasm, excitement, and belief in what it is and what you're doing. If you go into this thing and you're thinking, hey, I'm going to give this a shot for a week, you're probably not going to speak with much enthusiasm or much passion or excitement, right? If you go into this thing and you're looking for fault with your sponsor, with your mentors, with the system, with the different tools that you have available, you're probably going to find it. But if you go into this thing going, look, I am in this because I have always wanted to have my own business. Look here, I didn't have to invest a ton of money to get in here. I have all these supportive groups of people. And typically those people come in the way of they're virtual people, right? They're in Facebook groups. They're teams, but they're people that, excuse me, in many cases, will treat you better than your own family, okay? And they become your extended family. So my friends, what I'm saying to you is that you have to make those attributes your priority, okay? You want to bring the passion, you want to bring the enthusiasm, excitement, and belief, right? And then you invite professionally and let third-party resources do the work. So what are those third-party resources? Well, if you're doing what we call old school network marketing, belly kind of, prospecting and talking to folks, well, it's maybe a CD, maybe it's a pamphlet. Well, here online, after you have established those relationships with people, is then the appropriate time to share third-party resources. And we typically do that by providing a link to a video, or we invite people to come to a webinar like we're doing tonight, right? So those are the third-party resources. In many cases, it may be, one of the things that we do on our team is that our team is growing by leaps and bounds, right? And so we celebrate the success of other people that are advancing in their business. We put it on our Facebook page. We put it on our personal profiles, and we celebrate other people's successes. And so you can do that without spamming your links all over the internet. You follow what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
People are not interested in how much you know. They're interested in your story. And part of your story has to be celebrating the successes of other people that you're working with. So a compelling story, you kind of heard me tell a little bit about my story earlier, but basically a compelling story has 4 elements. People want to know what your background is. Okay, I'm a corporate guy, almost 30 years in the corporate world. So who are you and what did you do before? What are the things that you did before that you like, and what didn't you like about your background? Well, one of the things that I liked about my background is that, for many, many years, it provided me and my family a six-figure income. What I didn't like as I grew higher and higher in management was laying people off, you know, because in my view, that was like hurting people. And I hate to hurt other people. All right. So then you can talk about, well, how network marketing has changed your life. Well, I mentioned to you, for me, it was the personal development stuff. It was something that was just missing in my life. Reading books, listening to audios, watching videos, seeing the success of other people. That was just awesome to me. That was enough for me to say, well, hey, you know what? I need to think about giving this industry another shot. Okay? And so people want to know what your results have been. Well, that was a huge result for me. And then I started inviting people to, different masterminds and different Facebook groups where you can interact and so forth. So again, those were results for me initially. I'm not a hypey kind of guy. I didn't need to get out there and say, well, look, I'm making $10,000 a month doing this, and you need to come do it too. You won't find those kind of posts on my personal profile on Facebook or any of my social media platforms, okay? But, this is the excitement that I was talking about. This is the passion that you have to have when you're presenting yourself to other folks. And folks, I tell you, get a lot of mileage out of this, okay? Then the next thing you want to do, according to Eric, is step number 4 here out of 7, and that is follow up with your prospects. Follow up is simple. And maybe because it's so simple, so many of us don't do it, okay? Follow up is simple. It is doing what you said you was going to do when you was talking to them, right? If you talk to somebody and they contacted you, for example, maybe after this webinar tonight, I may have some folks to contact me and say, well, Tim, I kind of like what you were talking about with that, daily method of operation. Here's my email address. Can you send me your spreadsheet of how you track your daily results? Okay. Now, you hear me saying it, right? But the follow-up part is me actually doing that. And it's simple. It's simple. We talk about how critical exposing your business is. You have to expose your business, but you do it in a way that is not going to intimidate folks or scare them away. You want to attract people to you. The only reason that we have an exposure to our business, is to set up the next exposure, right? And the next exposure. Point number 3 here says it takes on average 4 to 6 exposures. 4 to 6 exposures of your business, of your opportunity, of your product to get the average person to join. Okay? So follow up. Follow up is key. Helping your prospect. And here's another big one for me. You want to help your prospect either become a customer of your products or service or become a business partner, because network marketing is about both, right? Okay? It's a natural byproduct of following up professionally. So keep this in mind, folks. I like this little saying here. Nothing happens without something else happening before it. We spend an enormous amount of effort, time, and in many cases money getting a prospect to join us as a business partner, only to squander that investment by leaving them to figure everything out for themselves. How many times have you joined a business and they say, buy these products from us, right? And you stack up your garage or your closet downstairs, right? Okay. And then maybe they give you a ton of DVDs. I'm talking old school marketing here, folks. All right. Or in the online world, it's like, okay, here's a website, and here's some links, and go. If you have any questions, go to these Facebook groups. Well, you know what? I know I said this earlier about you may have to fire your sponsor, right? But As a sponsor myself, I know what it feels like to feel that sense of abandonment. So I do this instead with my prospects and those that join me in the business. I try to help them find a way to get some quick results and then continue to guide them. In many cases, it's easy because, we know that there's meetings on Monday night. We know that there's a training on Tuesday night. We know that there's a hangout on Wednesday night. And maybe you did share a Word document that says, look, Joe, thanks for joining me in business. You need to come to these meetings. But there is nothing wrong, folks, with sending, a little instant message that says, look, Joe, don't forget to come to the meeting tonight. Okay? They appreciate that personal touch. And it does a lot because, we're talking about in this industry how you can have residual income. Well, guess what, folks? You can only have residual income if you have retention of your business partners. If people are constantly leaving as fast as you're bringing them in, right, how are you going to continue to grow your business and to grow your income? You have to spend time retaining those that you spent an enormous amount of effort, time, and money to bring them on board in the first place. And then number 7, we hear this all the time in our industry, and that is the promoting of events. In network marketing, in internet marketing, in affiliate marketing, meetings make the money. Why? Because online we live in a virtual world. Okay? You heard Aurora back at the beginning of this call mention the fact that, she and I have known each other now for a number of months. I've heard her voice before, on webinars and different things, but tonight was the first time that she actually heard my voice. But trust me, we have spent a fair amount of time building the relationship between us because, we had that commonality. We had network marketing in common. We had internet marketing in common. But that doesn't take the place of connecting with people. And that's why we have events. There are company-specific events, whether they're quarterly or annually or whatever. You need to get to those events because this is where you will meet the pros. And you might have noticed during this whole presentation this evening, I didn't use the term gurus. I don't like the term gurus. Somehow or another, it's almost become like a negative term in our industry. But I like Eric's term because we are professionals. We have chosen this profession to become professionals in it, right? So go, just like you would go to a company convention if you work for a traditional corporation, right? To network with other people. And you do the same thing here. It is just that simple. Technology can help us connect with people. Facebook is wonderful. Twitter is awesome. Instagram is just outrageous, right? But nothing replaces that face-to-face interaction. In fact, Eric says the pros utilize events as a cornerstone to build a successful business. And then lastly, folks, anything worthwhile takes time. We'll go back to the analogy I used of a person that starts a traditional business. Okay? They expect to break even in the first few years, to break even. Not make a profit, to break even of the money that they've invested into their traditional business in the first few years. And possibly pay back their initial investment in 5 years. If their business doesn't fail in 5 years. Right? In network marketing, however, people want to get their money back in the first month. They want to make a profit in the second month. Then they want to be rich by the third month. Folks, that is just so unrealistic. Even with the magnanimous numbers that I shared in the growth in our industry, you still have to come to the realization that you are in business for yourself. You have to know the companies, the opportunities, the products and services that you promote first. Okay? Take the time. Anything worthwhile takes time. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy evenings this week to spend with me and learn a little bit about uh, how to do it in a professional way when you come into this wonderful industry. I want to thank the ladies from Mastermind Fever, Aurora Jones, who's on the webinar with me tonight, and Lydia Brown. I appreciate the fact that you guys took this time to, think of me and to give me exposure for myself and for my business. Thank you so much. And with that, Aurora, I turn it back over to you, and open it up for any Q&A too.
Okay. Oops. Well, I have no idea why we had to wait for such a long time for you to deliver a presentation.
Well,
Truthfully,
it won't be so
I'm
long to
angry
the
with
next
you.
time.
That was powerful. That was absolutely phenomenal. And I don't believe that it was your first presentation today. It was so professional. Absolutely great information being shared. So everybody, you need to get that book, GoPro by Eric Worre, and what Tim mentioned about saying goodbye to your upline is right there. It is such a simple book to read, but so powerful that, as Tim said, if you wanted to create content, provide value to the people you are getting in contact with, for them to know you more and decide to start working with you, Facebook can definitely last you for a very long time. And you shared some great information about having a DMO, which is a daily method of operation, basically what you do daily to attract the right people to you instead of just spamming your link everywhere. Like these days, I'm getting spammed probably every day with the same business opportunity, and I don't even need now to ask them where they're from because I know they are all spamming the same way. So it's good and it's important to understand that when you join a network marketing company, success is not going to start overnight, but with some work and by becoming a professional, you are going to attract the right people to you. And otherwise, you will be probably after a few months, even after a year, coming back saying, well, this is not working, this is the wrong business to join, when actually you haven't been a professional. And when people hear that it takes 10,000 hours to become a professional, yes, it is scary. But uh, it is so much more fulfilling than just doing a job and then complaining. So it's really about making a decision. So thank you so much again for this presentation. I think it was awesome. So again, if you want to connect with Tim, you will be able to find him on Facebook. Like I was checking quickly about the Facebook graph, which is absolutely awesome. So let me show you where you can find Tim. If you don't know Tim, well, I'm trying to share my screen. I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. Yeah. So just right here. Here we go. So this is Timm. Okay, so that's Timm on Facebook. Timm Worthington. It was absolutely great to meet with you finally live through a Hangout. That's how technology is just so amazing. And get this book again. Absolutely brilliant book. So I would say thank you very much for everybody for being here again. this evening and get more information about becoming a professional. And again, one more time, if you want to find out more about how to become a true professional in this industry, simply go to this link, which is tinyurl.com MNSP Olika, where you're going to get some great information about becoming a professional. And also connect with Timm is definitely going to help you out with that. And again, for those who want to attend live events like Timm mentioned, you've got the No Excuses Summit in June, and you can get some like-minded individuals and learn about traffic, how to use online marketing to attract the right people to your business opportunity. So again, I want to say a big thank you to Timm. Let me find my page. Here we go, right there. So a big thank you to Timm again for coming this evening and delivering this powerful presentation. And we will be connecting again next week with a great, great, great presenter. So stay tuned and stay connected with us. Timm, do you want to add anything else?
No, Roy, again, I just want to thank you and Lydia again for having me this evening, and I promise I won't wait so long the next time to come back and present for you guys. Actually, this is going to be a kickoff for me in terms of expanding my business online through webinars and video. So again, thank you so much.
You are welcome. You are welcome. It's really what the Mastermind Fever team is all about. So I'm so excited because you are a leader, a born leader for sure. And it was absolutely awesome to listen to you. So thank you very much, everybody, for coming to this hangout this evening. And stay tuned and stay connected with us. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.